1. The failed treasure hunt. What do you expect to find inside a pyramid? Gold? Jewels? Or a cat older than your grandma? One sunny afternoon, a young archaeologist full of excitement arrived at the Great Pyramid of Giza. Armed with all his tools, he was determined to unearth the legendary treasure buried deep inside. For years he'd studied every ancient text, every stone carving, convinced that he was the one who would finally unlock the pyramid's secrets. With shaking hands, he pulled open a heavy stone door that had been sealed for centuries. Dust and air filled the room as the stone shifted, revealing a dark, mysterious chamber. He stepped inside, heart racing, and expected to find gleaming treasures, gold coins, priceless gems, perhaps even a scroll written by the pharaoh himself. But instead, from the shadows, a pair of glowing eyes stared back at him. He froze in place, realizing he wasn't alone. And then, the cat leapt out. It landed gracefully in front of him, giving him a look that could only be described as judgmental. "What? Did you think this was a souvenir shop?" the cat seemed to say, as it casually sauntered past him. The archaeologist stood there stunned. "So no treasure, huh?" he muttered, watching the cat stretch and yawn. "Well, at least someone's comfortable here." The pyramid, it seemed, wasn't hiding treasures, but it did have a sense of humor. 2. Pyramid gym experience. The gym in Egypt? Who knew the pyramids might just be the most extreme fitness equipment ever? A tourist eager to tick off his bucket list finally set foot in Egypt and, of course, had to see the Great Pyramid. He was ready for an adventure, thinking it would be the highlight of his trip. As he made his way to the entrance, he met a local guide who said, "The pyramid is tall, and climbing it will require some serious effort." The tourist, trying to impress, puffed up his chest and said confidently, "No problem, I've been going to the gym for months. I'm in top shape." His guide chuckled and said nothing, knowing this was going to be an interesting climb. The tourist was full of energy as he started up, each step feeling like he was closer to greatness. He imagined himself reaching the top, triumphant, his sweat glistening like a heroic movie scene. But as he got halfway up, his confidence began to fade. His muscles were sore, his breathing heavier. By the time he reached the top, he was gasping for air. He threw himself on the stone, laying flat, muttering, "I should have just stuck to the treadmill." The guide, watching from below, yelled up, "Guess the pyramid has a way of testing even the best gym members." The tourist, now a bit embarrassed but laughing, managed a thumbs up. Maybe next time he'd stick to the local gym. 3. A conversation with a mummy. What if mummies could talk? Turns out they have a sense of humor too. A researcher was exploring the ancient tombs inside the Great Pyramid. He was determined to unravel all the secrets of the mummies. For weeks he had read everything he could about Egyptology, and this was his big moment. He stood before a perfectly preserved mummy, studying the bandages, the strange markings, and the cryptic hieroglyphs. But as he was jotting down some notes, he felt a strange chill in the air. He looked around, feeling like he was being watched. He turned back to the mummy and, without thinking, muttered, "Wow, you look so cool. Who did your makeup?" And then, the mummy's eyes opened, slowly. The researcher froze, his heart racing. The mummy blinked, and then, to the researcher's shock, it smiled. "Thanks for the compliment," it said, voice crackling like an old radio. "I've been napping for a few thousand years, so I guess I've had time to perfect the look." The researcher's jaw dropped. "Wait, you can talk?" he stammered. "Of course," the mummy replied, rolling its eyes. "What did you think? I've been lying here all this time with no one to talk to. Got any more questions?" "I've got a few good stories." The researcher stood there, dumbfounded. It turned out, being a mummy wasn't just about being preserved, it also had its perks. Maybe he'd be better off interviewing mummies than studying them.